Alright, I've already talked about how I was a really messed up kid back in elementary school, and how I used to fight kids over foursquare, handball, tetherball, soccer, and all that stuff. And when my dad would ask me why I was fighting these kids, I'd be like, Dad, they were making fun of a mentally challenged person. When in reality, I would grab these kids, throw them to the ground, kick them in the face, all because they said, I'm a better foursquare player than you. And also, I talked about how I was the king of foursquare and how I built the foursquare empire in my elementary school. But some of you may be wondering, why did I get like this? Why did I feel the need to create a foursquare empire? Why would I grab these kids, throw them to the ground, and just start kicking them in the face, all because they said they were a better foursquare player than me? Well, you see, every villain has a backstory, and mine is a broken heart. I cannot believe I'm still getting serious over a girl rejecting me in kindergarten. Okay, first off, to understand the story, let's get this out of the way. If you don't know what foursquare is, it's basically a four-person tennis game where when you get out, another person takes your spot, and whoever stays in the longest is known as the king. Now, before, I was the king of foursquare, and everyone in my school called me king. And listen, I already know everyone's watching this like, oh my god, he's so full of himself. Yes, I am. I peaked in elementary school and I'm proud of it. But before I was basically a bully and the king of foursquare, believe it or not, I used to be a big teacher's pet. Like, I'm talking, the class was being disruptive and they were talking and stuff, and our teacher was giving us that stare like, okay, I'll wait. I would look at everyone in the class and I'd be like, oh my god, you guys are all being so disruptive. You're all so immature. And then I would do like the little silence peace sign where you put one finger over your mouth and then with the other hand you put like two fingers in the air. Oh my god. Just thinking that I would actually do this makes me want to go back in time and just punch myself straight across the face. But side note, I knew some girls that would do that silent sign thing all the way up to fucking middle school. I'm talking like 8th grade. Every time our teacher would give us that, no, it's okay, I'll wait look, every single time our teacher gave us that look, these two girls would give that stupid ass fucking sign. I'm sorry I'm getting so mad, but these are the things that are gonna cause me to die at the age of 50 due to a stroke. Anyways, I was such a teacher's pet. Like, if my teacher said or asked anything, I'd be like, yes sir, anything you say sir. Why did I feel like that was a good idea to put in the video? But I was such a teacher's pet that my teachers loved me. Like, back in kindergarten, I remember this one time, and this is not a joke, my class was like walking back from the library or some shit, and you know, being kindergartners, everyone was like yelling and talking on the way back to class. Well, everyone but me. The entire way back to class, I was doing that silence peace sign thing, and when anyone would try to talk to me, I would go, shh, silence in the halls of learning. Oh my god, I was such a loser! And when we got back to class, our teacher was mad and she was like, all of you are being so disruptive, I can't believe it. And I was crossing my arms and nodding my head, and I was like, I can't believe it either, Miss A. Yeah, Miss A was our teacher. And then Miss A literally told everyone in the class to write their names on the board except for me. And I remember standing there thinking I was so cool, when in reality, everyone in my class fucking hated my guts. But let's get back to me getting curved in kindergarten. So obviously, back in kindergarten, that's like prime time for cooties. Like, no guys in kindergarten actually play with the girls because all of the guys seriously believe that if they touch a girl, they're gonna get a serious disease that's gonna end up killing them. But I was never like that. Like, back in kindergarten, I was a cooties civil rights activist. Like, I remember every Friday, me and my friends would have a meeting, and we would take this shit so seriously. And I remember every single Friday, we would debate if cooties were real or not. And people would bring, like, evidence, and we would have a vote at the end of the meeting. Like, we basically had a courtroom going on in this kindergarten class. And I remember I was basically the only one who didn't believe in cooties, but I didn't have the balls to actually touch a girl because in the back of my mind, there was a possibility that if I touch a girl, I could literally end up dead. But the whole reason why I didn't believe in cooties was because, you know, I had a little kindergarten crush going on. And so this one time we were having one of those cootie debates, and you know, everyone was making their arguments, and I was like, it's unfair that we can't play with the girls. Everyone should be able to play with everyone because everyone is created equal. And then one of the guys in the debate was like, well, if you don't believe in cooties, why don't you go on and touch a girl? And I was nervous as fuck, but I was like, you know what? I will. And so I started walking to the girl I had a crush on, and this girl I had a crush on was named Hannah. And for a kindergartner, Hannah was hot. Bro, if someone took that last line out of context, I would be canceled so fast. I don't mean it like that. I mean, as a kindergartner, when I was in kindergarten, she was attractive. Please don't cancel me. But she was basically all you could ever want for a girl in kindergarten. I mean, she was a female and she was athletic. That's all you need in kindergarten. And so I start walking up to Hannah, and I mean, my heart was pounding. I was sweating because I was so nervous. And when I got up to her, I stuck out my finger and my arm was like shaking. And right before I touched her, I no cap let out a fucking scream. I was like, and then I touched her, and all of the guys in the entire class let out a gasp and were like, oh my god, he did it. And I just kept my finger on her and every muscle on my body was flexed. And then after like 10 seconds, Hannah was like, what are you doing? And then I looked at my finger and I was like, oh my god, I didn't die. And from that day on, all of the guys played with all the girls. And I mean, looking back on it now, you could seriously make a comparison between me and Martin Luther King Jr. Like, I mean, if you really take a look at it, I basically had the same impact level as him. That's a joke, YouTube. Please don't kill me. But you know, after that day, I tried to play and talk with Hannah every single chance I got. And I was doing a pretty good job and things were going pretty well, but we never had like alone time with each other. Like, we would always be playing or talking in like groups of people. And that wouldn't have bothered me except for the fact that she gave another guy alone time. The guy she gave alone time was named Johnny. And she was always trying to talk to Johnny and play with Johnny. And Johnny was the exact opposite of me. I was a teacher's pet and Johnny didn't give a fuck about school. And at the time, Johnny was the best Foursquare player at our school. And he was known as the king of Foursquare. And I remember I would always get jealous and I was always like, why the fuck is she always with Johnny? And I seriously used to think, Johnny is literally a troublemaker. Why would anyone want alone time with a troublemaker? And so, you know, I wanted some alone time with Hannah because I didn't want Johnny to be the only one who got alone time with her. And so I came up with this plan that I was gonna ask Hannah to have a snack with me at this bench at recess. And I mean, back then a snack together at recess is basically like going to a 5-star restaurant. And so I wanted to ask her to get a snack at recess, but I kept getting nervous. Like, I'd go up to her and I'd be like, Hannah, do you want to maybe but then I would get nervous and I'd literally just run away. But eventually, after a couple of days, I mustered up the strength and I asked Hannah to have a snack with me at recess. And so I went up to Hannah and I was like, Hannah, do you want to have a snack with me at recess tomorrow? And she was like, yeah, sure. And you know, I was happy as fuck because in my mind, me and Hannah basically just got married. And that day I went home and I was like dancing around my house and shit. And I was thinking, that's right, that's what all the troublemakers get. Hannah's mine and not Johnny's. And I was so excited for the next day. It was like Christmas Eve and I couldn't even sleep that entire night. And the next day I went to school thinking I was so cool. Like, my friends before recess were like, we're gonna go have a handball tournament at recess. You wanna come? And I looked at my friends and I was like, when are you guys gonna learn? I have responsibilities now. I gotta make time for my girl. You guys just wouldn't understand. And I remember that day when the recess bell finally rang, I sprinted faster than I've ever sprinted in my entire life to that bench I was gonna meet Hannah at. And I sat down and pulled my little lunchbox out and grabbed my granola bar. But of course, I didn't start eating yet because I wanted to wait for Hannah. And I was waiting and a couple minutes passed by and I was wondering where Hannah was. And I thought maybe she was in the bathroom or something and she was just taking a while to come to the bench. But then I kept waiting and waiting. And after like 10 minutes, I started to get scared. I wanted to make sure Hannah was okay. I needed to make sure nothing happened to my girl. And so I got up and I went to look for her. And I started walking around the entire school to try and find her. And then I saw her. And what I saw next still breaks me to this day. I saw Hannah at the Foursquare courts playing Foursquare with Johnny. In that very moment, I literally felt like I caught my wife of 20 years having an affair. I literally dropped down on my knees and thought about ending it all right there. But then as I was questioning what the point of living was, I got filled with so much rage and anger that I got up and I started walking straight to the Foursquare court. And when I ended up getting to the Foursquare court, Hannah and Johnny saw me and they were like, you want to play Foursquare with us? It'll be so fun. You should play with us. Looking back on it now, they had no idea what was about to happen. Without any hesitation, I went straight up to Johnny and I just fucking dropped him. I threw him to the ground as hard as I possibly could and just started kicking him. I mean, Johnny had no idea what the fuck was going on, but I didn't give a fuck. But midway through just demolishing this kid, I actually started to feel bad. And like, once I realized what I was doing, which was beating up an innocent kid who had no idea what was going on, I just stopped kicking him and ran straight to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, I was thinking and I was like, why did I just do that? I'm not a troublemaker. I'm a good kid. I shouldn't have done something like that. And I was feeling so bad when all of a sudden I realized something. When I threw Johnny to the ground and just started going no mercy on him, Hannah was looking at me differently than she ever did before. When I started kicking him over and over and over again, Hannah was looking at me the same way she looks at Johnny. And I just looked in the mirror in the bathroom and I was like, from now on, I'm a troublemaker. That sounds so stupid to say, but that's seriously how I felt in that moment. And after deciding that I was going to be a troublemaker for the rest of my life, I left that bathroom and went right back to the Foursquare courts. And like before this, no one challenged Johnny at Foursquare. Like, he was the king of Foursquare and like everyone accepted that. But I went right up to Johnny after literally just throwing him on the ground and kicking him like 20 times. And I was like, let's play Foursquare, bitch. Bro, talking about this now is so fucked up. I literally fought this kid, beat him up, and then a minute later made him play Foursquare with me. But as soon as he served the ball, I mean, I just murked him. I ended up beating him and becoming the new king of Foursquare right then and there. And from that day on, on, I was a troublemaker the entire rest of my life. And I know you guys were wondering what happened to Hannah. Well, not much right after this, but in 3rd grade, she ended up liking me. But at that point, I was a ruler of a Foursquare kingdom, and I didn't have time to be with fucking peasants. Bro, this Foursquare shit is becoming like a movie series. I need to try and sell the rights to this to like Warner Brothers or some shit. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. This leads right into the video titled I Was a Messed Up Kid, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe because I'm so close to 100K, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.